Welcome back, Anzenze.
Asante.
Now, we just before we went to the break, we were talking about internet and masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
How has social media, being on social media, affected?
Social media really can be a monster. I remember a few weeks ago, I don't know if you heard about it, there was something going around called Moles. It was an audio of a sexual encounter between a man and a woman. And for me, as someone with a gender background, it was an audio of a woman being raped. Because she was telling this man, I don't want to, please stop. She even said, you're raping me, unani rape. She was even telling him that. But he just continued. So for me as a woman and as a mother, it shook me to the core. And I said, this cannot be right. But then I went to social media, I went to Twitter, because I wanted to find out what are people saying about this and what do they think about it.
There's a lot of information on Twitter that...
You know, and when I got there, do you know what I found?
It was already
all the men, first it was trending, and most of the guys were saying Morris is the guy. You know, this man has shown women that Kenyan men can dominate women in bed, that Kenyan men know what they're doing in bed, la 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 la. And so I started tweeting saying that you need to understand that this is actually audio of a woman being raped. This man did not get the woman's consent. This man is sexually abusing this woman. And you know what I was told? I was told once a woman starts, she can't stop. Lazima amalize. So it really made me begin to understand masculinity, Kenyan masculinity on the internet, which was overwhelmingly men. This is what I was being told. I was being told, number one, you don't need consent to have sex with a girl. That's what boys are being told by other boys. You have a right to that girl's body. Even if she doesn't want, you have a right. And you're also being told that no does not really mean no. That when a woman wants, when a girl or a woman says no, that does not mean no. And the layer too. And I really got a lot of negative comments from young boys in particular, saying that you should just keep quiet. What Morris audio is fine. You know, the woman was enjoying herself, etc. And then you know what I also found? I found girls supporting those boys, saying that I want a man like Morris. La 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 la. Where can I find a man like Morris? So I'm telling you, we're in such a twisted space where masculinity says I have a right to your body as a woman or a girl. And then the women are saying, yes, you have a right to me. Do you see that craziness? And then I really challenge the young men out there who do think that they have a right to a woman's body. When you have a daughter, please send her to those boys. Please send her to those boys. Let her spend time with those boys and see what they do to her. Or if you have an auntie, or if you have a young cousin, send them to those bad boys in the neighborhood who rape, who steal. Send them to her and then see what happens. Do you see? And it is only when you tell people that when you tell young boys, what if this happened to a woman you love? What if that was your mother on that audio? What if that was your sister on that audio? Would you still feel the same way? Would you still respond? So really that episode really showed me as a woman and as a mother that we have a long way to go in teaching our young boys what it means to be a mature, positive man in society. That's one thing. But now let me tell you about another story on Facebook. There was a girl who got a boyfriend on Facebook. She'd never met him. They met online. They started a relationship. And then the man started telling her, I want to see pictures of you naked. You know, and this is very common. You may be surprised what I'm saying, but I am telling you, a lot of young people who are in relationships are sending pictures to their boyfriends and girlfriends of their breasts, of their genitals, of their behind, right? So she sent them, and he took these pictures. Then the relationship ended, and do you know what he did? He released all the pictures.
Back into
That is called revenge porn.
Yeah.
That is called revenge porn. When you, as a boy, ask your girlfriend to send you pictures of her naked, and then when you break up, you show all your friends. That is called revenge porn. And that is something that has only been enabled through social media, where that boy shares that pictures on Facebook or on WhatsApp, and then soon the whole world knows what you look like naked. And it's a very humiliating thing. And it even happens to boys sometimes, where the girlfriend does that to him. He has shown her pictures of his privates, and now, that's released for everyone to see. So I just really want to caution young people around how social media can turn in your face. It can be a great way to meet, to talk to your friends, and even do homework together, or decide what movie you're going to go to or where you're going to eat. That's wonderful. But it can also be very destructive if you're not careful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me just use this time just to talk to the viewers, or in terms of maybe parents watching the show, how can they ensure that the children avoid that stuff in the social media? Now, you parent out there, from the GEEK studio, you can be able to get applications or app or software that you can download on the phone, so that even if your child gets access to your phone, he or not be able to access some websites. For example, if I leave my phone on the bedroom, and maybe I'm walking to the bathroom, or maybe I'm rushing to see something, or maybe meeting somebody somewhere, and I forgot my phone. So if my child goes to the phone and get hold of the phone, there are those software that you can install as a parent, so that all the websites, the WhatsApp, the Facebook, the Twitter, the child cannot be able to access.
But I challenge you on that one. I tell you why.
They'll still be able
why? What do you think? You're the only one with a phone in this country? No, you're not. Yeah. And a lot of parents have given their children smartphones. My daughter has a smartphone. So really for me, it's like you cannot, I am telling you, you cannot force your children not to access those websites. What you do is you teach them why they shouldn't, so that they don't want to, so that they understand that that is not something they want in their life. This thing of parents forbidding their children, I have a friend, they will do it and you will never know, because I have a friend who had forbidden his daughter from accessing Facebook. And he did all those things. No Facebook in the house, no smartphone. But she has she finds a friend's phone. She created a fake account and she was on. And when you're not monitoring, that's why I tell parents, let your child be honest with you, so that you know what they're doing. The minute you start saying you're not allowed, especially in a technology world where they know more than us. My daughter knows more about the internet than I do. She knows more about apps than I do. So I cannot tell her I forbid you, because how do I enforce that? It's unenforceable.
I agree with you.
So I really feel that parents need to really have a conversation with their kids and be honest about it. And just tell your kids, if you have a Facebook page, I need to be able to see it whenever I want to see it. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, I need to be able to see it whenever. But most of all, you teach your children, use these things constructively. If you start hooking up with boys you don't know, and because you want to be rebellious, I can't protect you. Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that. Let's move up to speed about masculinity and drug abuse. Maybe you can even combine with the terror. How do technology, how do you think young people, young boys and girls there, use technology and combine this with masculinity, and they also go into the drugs? Or do they go to drugs to enhance their masculinity, and what is it that they can avoid?
It depends on the boy.
Yeah.
In my experience, what I found is that a lot of, first of all, this is what I was saying, the way boys are socialized to grow up really makes them struggle unnecessarily, because they're always, basically society is always telling them, prove that you're a man, prove that you're a man, prove that you're a man. So the way some boys do that is through becoming abusive to other people so that they feel powerful, beating your girlfriend or wife, raping someone so that you feel powerful for a short time. But a lot of boys also give up and they begin to hurt themselves, So they begin to get into these activities that harm them. So they get into drugs, they get into alcohol. And you have to understand that with alcohol in particular, the way young boys are socialized around alcohol is very dangerous, because I am telling you, they view it as a competition. The minute young boys come together, the question is, who can drink the most without getting drunk? Which one of us, who among us is going to be that guy? So we need to understand that even the way society encourages that relationship with alcohol that society tells boys to have is one of, I have to drink as much as possible all the time. They're not told pole pole. They're told kunya paka, So when you start looking at those issues, and then you go interface that with internet, there are a lot of movies out there where drug use is very common. There are a lot of movies out there where heavy drinking is very common. So if a young boy or girl has gotten into that, then they'll find movies that support those habits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we wind up, let's look at a graduate who has just maybe done social sciences and just wondering, what can I do with myself? Does masculinity has entrepreneurial value?
Mm-hmm.
How can you make money out of doing masculinity stuff?
Well, right now,
Is there some business value?
there is some business value. There's a lot of gender organizations now that have a focus on masculinity. So if I were you, I'd just Google gender organizations Kenya or women's organizations Kenya, masculinity. And there are even some organizations of men themselves that are focusing on masculinity. So there are ways, especially if you just want to learn more about the topic, or if you want this to become an area of professional research. There are organizations out there. So use Google. Just Google masculinity organizations Kenya. And a couple of them will come, and I'm sure they wouldn't mind, having you come in and find out, what they have to offer. Yeah.
Wow. Parting shot.
Parting shot?
To the viewers?
To the viewers. I think I have 3 parting shots. The first one is to all the parents out there watching this. Your kids know more about technology than you. Your kids know more about the internet than you. So this idea of telling them, I forbid you, it won't work. I would encourage you to have an honest and loving relationship with your kids so that when they get online or when they get on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat, it is a relationship where you can monitor them and encourage them to use those tools in a positive and healthy way. Number 1. Number 2, to all the guardians out there, the aunties, the cousins, the older brothers, the older sisters, be a friend to the young people. There are some things young people can't tell their parents. I'm sure all of us know that, even us as adults. There are some things I find it very difficult to tell my mom. But if I have that older sister or that older auntie or that older cousin that I can talk to, be that guardian that young people can go to. Be that guardian that young people can seek to for advice. And the reason I say that to parents and guardians is that if we don't teach them, they'll go to each other, and you'll have a bunch of 13-year-olds telling each other about sex. I mean, it's crazy. So be that person that they can go to when they need information. And finally, to all the young people out there, you are valuable and you are important people. Please take care of yourselves and remember that you must respect yourself, because only when you respect yourself will other people respect you, and will you be able to go on a path that is constructive and positive. There's so many things out there that tell you to do this, they tell you to be sexy, they tell you to be to drink a lot, or they tell you to define yourself in this way or that way. Just understand that you have the power to choose what messages you want to listen to and what messages you don't want to listen to. So I'd urge you to choose the ones that will help you lead a good life.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It was nice to host you in the GEEK studio.
You're welcome.
And we enjoyed your time with us.
Asante.
Thank you so much, and welcome another day.
Asante.